before we get started, how many of you are identify as a platform engineer? We got some. How many as developers? We got definitely more. All right. My name is William Rizzo, and I'm a lead architect consultant at Suse. I'm also a CNCF ambassador. In my day-to-day job, I help customers design, implement, or in other words, achieve their platform engineering targets and goals. And we will see what those entail to, what are those goals. So at Suse, it's not a product pitch. I'm not making a product pitch, but at Suse, we do look into all the products in the open source landscape, in the CNCF landscape. We build our own to achieve the customer's goals when it comes down to platforms. How to build platforms, how to respect those ideas that I will be showing you shortly. So, what is platform engineering? I like very much this sentence. Across all the sentences that you see online and all the vendors, I like very much this one. Platforms are not a set of tools. It's not something shiny that we say, oh, it's our platform. We build it that way because we think that that's how it should be. No, it's a social technological exercise. And I flag the social part. We're building it for people. We're building it for all those of you that raised the hand in both cases. We build it for the platform engineers. We build it for the developers. That's why it's a social technical exercise. Ultimately, this exercise is to drive acceleration of business value, acceleration of achieving those business values. So this begs the question, what is actually a platform? A collection of tools, a collection of APIs, web portals, internal developer platforms within the platform, what we like to call capabilities and some call features, golden paths templates, and please mark this one and pay attention to this one. Just a raise of hand, how many of you do not know what a golden path is or what a golden path template is? Good, very good. Keep it that way. So why do we need the platforms? I would like to focus your attention on the first item. Accelerate product development, or more broadly, deliver of business values. So we don't build, what you will find often on the reason for being of a platform is to enhance the developer productivity. I was of that belief as well. Now I'm converted. I don't believe that is to enhance developer productivity. I believe is to serve the end user of the platform. And it happens to be that most of the end users of the platforms are developers. I could have a data analyst which needs a specific data set which is served by the platform as a service, and a golden path that we will see shortly, a golden path that attaches together and decorates all the components that need to be delivered to deliver that service, and he or she is going off to do the job that is required to do. He's not a developer, but he's developing business value. So reduce cognitive load of target users. Why we reduce or product teams? Why we reduce the cognitive load? If you are a developer, or if you are a platform engineer, or if you work in IT, you have certainly been studying something. You have certainly been Googling something, or DuckDuckGo something, and you have seen that you miss a piece of knowledge to figure out that thing that you were working on. Then you go off and you start looking into something else. Then you start looking into something else. That's what we call the rabbit hole. We go into the rabbit hole and we are never coming out of it. But we still need to deliver that piece of code, that piece of business value that we were set up to do. So the platform should encompass all of this knowledge into eventually code or infrastructure as code or golden paths or little services or decorations of the service so that you don't have to do it. And I'm not saying, and it's important to understand that we are not ever, as platform engineers, to create constraints so that the user cannot be free to do something more with that service that it wasn't designed to do. And we're going to see how we do that. So ultimately, what a platform is for is to reduce a distance. I have a business need, a business vision, and on the other side, I have the business value. The platform should get this one closer as much as possible. I'm not building a platform that is going to be built ready, no one knows when, and that business value goes further, further, further away, which the developers or those data analysts had never got to work on in first place. So we need to keep that in mind. So what are the attributes of a platform? As I said before, there is a social aspects of the platform and there is a technical aspect of the platform. We can put in the social, the user experience. We need to work for the user experience, for the user. We are never building an item that is not tied to how the user is experiencing the platform that we are building. We are not building something because we like the color of it, we like the shape of it, it's because it's powerful, because it's the latest thing that has been built. We're building it because the user needed to be so. The documentation, it comes back for always within platform engineering because we see documentation as an item, as a capability of the platform, as an interface of the platform. The user will interface with our portal that we built, will interface with an API, it's also an interface, and will interface with documentation. They need to understand what they need to do, how they need to do, and if they need to change the platform or to activate a different decoration, they need to know who do they have to talk to, right? There is also the onboarding, of course, that is part of the documentation. We want to tell our users how they get onboarded in our platform eventually, hopefully. And I personally don't believe in adoption. I personally don't believe that in our organization we should go out to find people that want to use our platform. If we are in the position that we need to convince people to use our platform, maybe we shouldn't have built the platform in the first place. Maybe the platform was at all not needed because they are doing a good job already as they are. So the user of the platform should be part of the development process. I'm building this, and you could already be using a platform. Let's say a GitHub is a platform, right? I mean, why should I go to the user and I say, look, now we have this on-prem Git repository. Now you're using it as a service. Now we have on-prem Git repository. You should use mine. Well, what was the need in first place that I have satisfied? What was the problem for which I found a solution that the solution is for that person to use the on-prem? I didn't ask. I didn't make that person part of it. So the developer should be part of the solution, should be part of developing the solution, or continuously feedback the feeling that the developer has on using this thing. And so that's why I don't believe in adoption. So if the user has been part of the solution, I never have to ask the user to use the platform because the user has built it with me. So they're actually waiting for me to finish. The platform should also be self-service. And on this there is something very big to unpack about what is the degree of self-service that we should have. But the user should go there, should request a specific service. It should be, I don't know, let's say it can be a database, and a database behind it, there might be an S3 bucket, there must be observability, there must be backup, there must be resiliency, and all of the things that I need. The developers should not care about this. The data analysts should not care about this. The platform should be delivering it as part of a path that has been decorated, even with the regulations and all those security regulation, auditors and audit, and all those beautiful things, and licensing, if there is licensing to be taken care of. That should be already done, right? So click self-service, I get my instance, I go get my coffee, I get my instance, and I get to work. I get to continue developing a piece of code. Optional and composable. And I'm gonna go back on this on the golden path, but just to say, every part of the platform should not be a locking component of the platform. We don't want any more locking, right? We don't want any more that database or that particular operating system or that particular service that dictates components of my platform. Kubernetes itself, if we're using Kubernetes in our platform, should be a replaceable component, shouldn't be the core of our platform. So why I'm talking about products when I'm talking about platforms? So we should build platforms with a product mindset. There should be a platform with a platform engineering team. And of those that raised the hand before, how many of you are relying on a platform owner or a product owner of the platform? That's much less than those platform engineers that have raised their hand before. So I'm going to tell you now, if you just raise the hand, if you just did not raise the hand, there is a problem in the organization, because you do need to treat that platform as a product. You need to negotiate. The product owner needs to negotiate outcomes on the platforms, not only with developers but also with the business. The business has a vision. Remember at the beginning, the business has a vision, and the business needs a value. So if the product owner does not negotiate the outcomes of that platform with the business, they're taking part of that conversation out of the table. They're taking an element which is fundamental out of the table. You need to build features based on functional requirement. Forget about the non-functional requirements. I don't know since how long I don't write non-functional requirements in high-level designs or platform designs. Forget about those. Everything is a functional requirement. So the fact that the user can reach the platform and enjoys using it, that's user experience, that's a functional requirement. Everything ties to a functional requirement. Therefore, you need to develop features of the platform based on functional requirement, which have been given to you, not that you are thinking that might be given to you. Agree on a platform roadmap. If you're building a product, then you're also accountable for a roadmap. You're making yourself accountable. You're making yourself responsible. And I love the word responsibility. If I was translating the word, I'm not originally English, I'm not originally Dutch, so I was translating the word responsibility, and the real semantic of it is taking care of, caring for. So you need to not only be accountable for that, but you need to take care that that feature, that capability, which you're releasing in August 2025, it's going to be ready in August 25, and in January 2025, it's half ready, right? Care that everything you say is going to be done. That's how you build trust also for your users. So, and ultimately, we talk about continuous feedback, right? We said we want to have our user telling us, tell me, is my t-shirt the right color? Is it good with my eyes? Tell me, how is my platform? Tell me, am I doing it right? Is it what you need? Is it what we agreed on? And accept the no. Accept it, embrace it, and say, okay, come along, show me what you need. Stick with it. Stick with what you said. Do what you say and say what you do. We love it, right? Very hard to do. Use I'll touch your golden paths to the business outcomes. You have defined those business outcomes. So from there, From the user, which is your business and the developers, you work your way backwards down to the last bit of the platform that you need to build to make sure that that story is built upwards and it makes absolutely sense. In this way, when we use a product mindset, we should work. We see it very often. So we work in an organization, in an end user organization. We build our platform. We are the IT guys. We are the weird crowd. Well, at least, I think we are the cool crowd, but we are the weird crowd. We're gonna sit in our organization, and it's an organization, lawyers. I have no business understanding what they do. You do. You actually do. We actually do have business understanding what they do. Because their outbound product, the work that they do, can be done in great part thanks to what we are doing. The work that we are doing, we can do it because they are sticking around. So there is a relationship, of course, right? And of course, it's money flow. We know that. But there is also another relationship. The relationship is the product that they are selling. They are looking at that product and they have a go-to-market strategy for that product. I might have chosen the wrong profession when I say lawyers, but they have a product mindset. They have a go-to-market strategy when something is ready, when it has to be ready, and who has to be informed, and who has to be informed about what they want to do. We want to do the same. We want to create a platform which is transparent. We say when something is going to be ready. We make an internal go-to-market strategy. We have developer relationship specialists that help us talk about our platform to all the potential users of the platform, and we made go live exercises and release the platform and version the platform. Call it something. August 2025 platform Flowbird, something like that. I don't know. So the golden paths. So few of us don't know what a golden path is. So a golden path is something that brings you from one state. So that bring. So let's imagine a service as data. It's a very good way. When we develop something, it's a very good way to imagine whatever we are serving as data. So if we take the data and let's say the code that the developer is pushing through a repo is data, the code needs to be built in our CI, continuous integration pipeline, needs to be moved forward to the testing phase and to the quality assurance, need to be and then eventually gets deployed. Gets deployed in development environments, staging environments, production, whatever it is. This data is floating around and moving through stages. A golden path, you have to imagine it as a data mover. We all know what a data mover is, I suppose. We don't. Okay, a data mover is a piece of software that that can move the state of given data without decorating it into a different condition where will be decorated. That's a data mover. Okay? That's said very simply, just for the sake of argument. When we have this data, let's imagine then each step of the golden path as a specific component, as a specific data mover. So let's say the CI system is a data mover, which in output produces a build. That build is passed to the QA and testing. That's a data mover. That part that has been built is passed to the deployment, to the continuous delivery platform. That's a data mover. We're going to move it, right? And eventually we're going to deploy it. That's a golden path until it gets that stage where this piece of the service is used by the consumer, by the user. That is the golden path from code to delivery, to the service. So build it as a multiplayer game. That's something that is there any gaming? Is anybody develop any games here? Nice. Then you know very well that it's easier to develop a multi-game, a multiplayer game, and to develop a game for 2 players and add a 3rd player afterwards than develop a game for 1 player and add a 2nd player afterwards. It's a very particular, it's a very fine set of skills to add a 2nd player afterwards because you didn't think about it. So it's for 1 player, develop your game, develop it for 2, even though it's 1, and then one day there will be somebody else that wants to play with you, of course. So what does it mean in Golden Path? With Golden Path, we need to imagine, let's imagine an ODBC driver, all right? An ODBC driver doesn't connect just to one type of database. It connects to multiple types, but it's one, the driver. So let's call it, in the modern terms, it's called a shim. So we have a shim towards a gateway, like an API gateway toward different type of infrastructures. So I'm not saying that you have to build a baseline that is good for different type of databases. I'm saying that you have to build an interface for the user where he can decide where that golden path is going to be getting the data mover, the component from. It can be a Postgres, it can be a MongoDB. So build for multiplayer from the start. And at the end of it, ask them, does it make your job better? What we build, does it make your life better? Do you get more sleeping time? Do you get to be quiet in your head when you go home? Because the health of our platforms is nothing compared to the health of the people that are using it. We want to make sure that those that are using it are happy to use it, and they're feeling good about using it, and they're going home just thinking about other things. Size does matter, and the thinnest, the better when it comes down to platforms. I've worked with I've been in front of a customer where they have built, the platform engineering team has been spending 14 months before they could go to production. They eventually got there to their return of investment, but it was a stressful condition. It was a stressful situation. Why? Just because of the slides that I showed you when I told you that it's not a product pitch. All those projects that are there, when we are in front of it, it's a daunting task. It has to be secure. It has to be usable. I need that. I need that. I need this item. I need these other projects. Is it good enough? Test, test, test. Well, sometimes that's what I like to call innovation-induced paralysis. We don't accept done, but we want perfect. Sometimes we have to, what we should focus on is to finish something. Get an application, put it into the platform, get it from build to testing to deployment, and then once it's there, then start getting, okay, we can do this and this and this, and we can improve it. Let's make it as small as possible. Let's not put all this stuff. Let's get the simplest one that we can understand and continuously improve our platform and our knowledge and our understanding. So this is a functional representation. Some of you platform engineers might have seen this before. This is a functional representation of a platform, the components that can be in a platform. As we said before, a platform can be just one repo, just one Git repo, or it can be as complex as you want, right? A platform should satisfy several use cases, should not satisfy all the use cases. It should not be, is it readable? Yeah. It should not be a platform for all the use cases of my organization. No, there could be 20% of the use cases of the organization that can be satisfied with a platform. Now let's see the other 80%. Of the other 80%, why I cannot do it? Is it going to denaturate the very essence of that platform? Yes. Well, then move on, build another platform. So as you can see at the top, is the product and application teams. These are our developers or our developers of business value. Those data analysts, researchers, and can be platform engineers themselves, can be SREs, can be DevOps, you name it. At the bottom, we have our infrastructure providers. There for sure we have our platform engineers, but we might have those data analysts and developers as well, because we want them to develop the platform with us. The platform capabilities, what's forming the golden paths. All those golden paths are built through those capabilities. We're going to see something now. And then we have the platform interfaces. What is shown what is the user of the platform interacting with? Can be CLIs, can be documentation, can be APIs, can be web portals. All of this can be Jupyter notebooks. All of this can be an interface. An example of a platform that has been built. This has been built in Chicago by Cromware. They're great guys. It's a Gen 3 data common platform. A data common platform is seen as a very large data for, in this case, for medical, cancer medical research. So there is a University of Chicago, the Medical University of Chicago, which the data that they gather from their analysis with people, unfortunately affected by cancer, that are sharing across other medical research institutions. Before this Gen 3, this Gen 3 is the actual product, which is open source. You can have a look at it. Before of this, it was built, the data sharing of the platform was done in a very archaic way, talking about rsyncs and stuff like that. Now they built a data lake, and they're using this product for structured and unstructured data and normalize and flatten through Elasticsearch. They're using different components for the infrastructure. They can add different components that could be doing the same thing just because we built for like a multiplayer game, right? We built for different options. Everything built on Kubernetes. They have different options for authentication. They have different options for metrics, logging. They want to also have resource utilization and resource assignment with open cost. They at least want to have a view of what's happening. So as you can see, there are different actors and players. On the interfaces up there, we can see that they have a Jupyter notebook, like I said before. We said web portal, we said API, CLIs. They also have Jupyter portal. One thing that I didn't say before that is going to, and probably half, if not more of you, are going to absolutely disagree with me. Work in silos. Experiment, if you can, the work in silos, working in closed groups that do not work together with others. Now, normally, we want to work in a... Anybody read The Cathedral and Bazaar? Very old book about open source. That's why you're gray. That's why I'm gray. So The Cathedral and Bazaar. So why Linux? We love it. We all love it, Linux. I'm not going to even ask if you do. Why open source works so well? Because it's developed in as in a bazaar, right? It's developed in this very dynamic flow. However, there is a very strong structure in that dynamic state. And that strong structure, we can see it also in Kubernetes. It's a very closed box structure. We accept contribution. We accept open and sharing of opinions, but the work piece, that work in progress piece, needs to be closely guarded, because we need to commit to that care of, to that responsibility of that piece of work that we are doing, that we need to deliver. And I need to be open to hear somebody that has a better idea than me to say, hey, William, hang on a second, that's good, but look at this, right? So develop in silos. When you develop in silos, there is something beautiful that happens. If there is a good culture within the organization, you can establish something that in tech we call API. You can establish a contract of communication between you and the other silos that is respected and nurtured. So if you can, give it a try. This is another platform. This is an AI platform built for training models, for model inference and and edge normalization of models. So what I mean by that is a model, an LLM model, or a model that is being trained on a large system and needs to be used at the edge on a disconnected system where we have something like very limited resources. We might or might not have a stable power or a stable network connectivity. So the model needs to be reduced. We need to take all the things out of the model and we need to hand it over to the edge. So this is a platform that does that. I'm not going to speak about AI, I promise. I'm just saying that this is a platform that does something else. And what I want to focus with you is the type of user. So look at this. The DevOps team and the DevOps team and the researchers, the operation, why not? Okay, yes, the DevOps teams is part of the build of the platform, but it's also part of the users of the platform. They use it. So in DevOps, just asking, are there any DevOps here? Nice, nice. Okay. In DevOps, there is the thing, you build it, you run it. Yeah? We heard it a lot, we tried it a lot, also with Agile, neither works. So it's very expensive to have somebody build a platform and then asking that somebody to run it. What's happening when that somebody is not there? What's happening when we have to onboard somebody else to do that, what that somebody did? It's going to be very expensive. What I like to say is build it so that anybody can run it. And when anybody can run it, just move on to the next thing. Build the next thing that anybody can run. That's a better approach, and I think it's economically better as well. Now, see, this is what platforms are. Some stuff that can help you. I promise I'm very close. I don't know what the time is. The platform engineering maturity model. So this is something that we work on in the CNCF. It's not meant to tell you how far back you are. It's meant to tell you where you are. Or is meant to tell you what are the things that you need to consider, what are the things that need to happen, and what for the stage that you possibly are to go to the next stage. There are things like the aspects within the maturity, such as investment, such as adoption, such as interfaces, and each level where we are. Like an example, at the level 1, we might have a group of two fellows that are very well equipped with technical skills, and they see a way to do things better, right? So they start building up this thing on their own time. That's a voluntary and personal investment. You're investing your own time into building something for everybody else. That could be a stage where you are. Where we move forward, and somehow you talk to somebody upstairs, and they say, hey, you know what? You are onto something. I want to formally invest something on it. And formal investing is giving you some time during the week off your actual activities so that you can continue building this thing. Or they can and that's like putting money on it. Or they can say, look, this is compute and storage and all these type of resources. You can use this to move forward with your building. Where we pass to the next stage, where we are in a scalable situation, we have a buy-in from the whole business that this thing needs to be done, is built. There is some production on it, and you are looking at how to make this thing that you built scalable. you're looking at things like, okay, now we are hosting 30% of our production. What's going to take to be 100%? Can we actually do it? Is this thing going to scale? And then there is this level 4, which I don't believe 3 and 4 should be so separated. In level 4, you are in a platform engineering house, right? You're doing it. You're only looking at optimizing what you already did. What I believe actually is that you're constantly looking at the scalability and the optimization of what you did. I believe a fluid state between level 3 and 4. What is very true in the platform engineering model is that the investment grows substantially from level 1 to level 4. You are going to be seeing an investment in people, investment in time, and investment in resources to satisfy, to back those decisions that you take. And those decisions go from level 1, a tactical type of decision, which is a very detailed. You're thinking about the next 2 days, the next week, or this year, to a decision that is more strategic, where you're thinking about the next 5 years. Can I sustain this? What is it going to take to sustain? How am I going to calculate my return of investment? How is business going to calculate the return of investment? And what data can I give to business that is going to back what I say? The platform engineering model personas are these. And each persona has a different reason and a different outcome for which is looking into the maturity model. This is very important because for us, we consider this in the CNCF very important because we don't want the model to be something that a CTO or a CEO reads, says, oh, I understand now. And then the platform engineer that actually has to do the deed says, yeah, but okay, why am I reading a business paper? We don't want that. We want to understand, we want the platform engineer, the developer, to be as very, very conscious about what are where he or she is, and does it make sense to move forward right now? Might not make sense. The organization might not be there yet. So moving forward, I would like to leave you with these resources. We need contributors. So if you guys are platform engineers, and if you guys are developers, please come around. We have a CNCF Slack. Just if you guys don't know, you guys know what CNCF is? If you don't, just raise your hand. You don't. The Cloud Native Computing Foundation. All right, please come see me. Absolutely. And you are a platform engineer or a developer? Developer, please come around. So that's so the Cloud Native Computing Foundation is the house of Kubernetes, is the house of Backstage, of OpenTelemetry, is the house of many open source projects, is part of the Linux Foundation. And within the CNCF, there are technical advisory group. The one where I am contributing the most is the app technical advisory group, and specifically the working group platforms within this tag. You can, we have released some stuff which we're really proud of, something like the maturity model that I said, the platforms white paper, the platform glossary, and we are working on a research for the platform, the product platform. Myself, I'm working on the return of investment of platform using taxonomy and qualitative analysis for the return of investment platform, so that our C-level can have some numbers to crunch and can help us if they deem so. So if you think you can, end users are very welcome, platform engineers are very welcome, developers are very welcome. You're very welcome also if you don't fall into these three categories, even product managers. Nobody's going to pay you for that. I don't get paid to do that. So it's all voluntary work because we see that there is a need in the industry for some change. Everything that I showed you today, just a last note, is not new. We've been doing this for more than 20 years. Now we're calling it platform engineering, but we have been trying to create a better way for the user to consume services of a platform for as long as there have been platforms. So now we might have made some breakthroughs because we have type of services and technologies that allows us to do that. But we're just, we're just making a better car, but we always had the car. And that was all. Thank you.